Retail Week is brought to you by Nutrisphere N, Nitrogen Fertilizer Manager, protecting your nitrogen from all three forms of loss.
I am here with Don Cameron, General Manager of Terra Nova Farms. He's visiting our offices this week as a judge for the Environmental Respect Awards, which we'll talk a little bit more about shortly. Tell us a little bit about Terra Nova Farms. What do you do?
Terra Nova, we farm a lot of vegetables, tree crops, almonds, walnuts, pistachios, wine grapes, but our main crop is processed tomatoes.
Okay. What are some of the issues that you are having to deal with that make your life either harder or better, hopefully?
No, we've been, first of all, we've been through a 5-year drought, but part of that in 2014, our governor signed a groundwater legislation law, sustainable groundwater legislation. And right now we're in the process of organizing at the local level in our local basins to form agencies that will be dictating water policy on groundwater pumping for the future. We have until 2020 to get our plans together, and we'll have implementation from that point on, 5-year check-ins. But the bottom line is we're going to have to either replace the water we're pumping out, or we're going to have to cut back on our farming. So it's a serious issue.
We were talking yesterday, you had said something to the effect of, and correct me if I'm wrong here, that if 20 years ago somebody had told you where we would be right now, you would have been like, that's it, we're done. But somehow we always seem to adapt to whatever the regulations are.
No, in farming, we've really come a long way from where we were 20 years ago. I mean, the regulations that we're faced with now, we added up the agencies. We have over 70 different agencies, governmental agencies that we have to deal with in California. I think if I had known that 20 years ago, I probably would have walked away. But somehow we managed to get through each problem and continue to be productive in California.
Over the 9+ years, they've done over 400 trials, side-by-side replicated trials, and we've shown that 90% of the time we've had a positive yield response with Nutrisphere. So 90% of the time a crop producer out of those 400+ trials could expect a positive response. That positive response is average 10 bushel an acre across all 400+ trials.
I mentioned you were here as a judge for the Environmental Respect Awards. Can you talk a little bit about the experience you've had over the last couple of days?
Yeah, it's been really interesting to look at the applicants that have submitted for the Environmental Respect Awards. I find a real amazing just to see what all the different dealerships and stores throughout the U.S. and Canada have been doing for environmental, for not just for the award, but their environmental programs that they're engaged in with their growers. It's really been impressive. I didn't realize it was throughout the nation, throughout Canada, that we all have the same goals and aspirations. We know we have to take care of our community, we have to take care of our environment, or down the road we won't be farming.
Very good. And you can learn about some of the people that Don and the other judges selected as the winners of that Environmental Respect Award program in some upcoming issues of both Agribusiness Global Magazine and our sister publication, Crop Life. I'd like to thank you very much for joining us today.
It's really been a pleasure being part of the award system here. It's been great.
Thank you to this week's video sponsor, Nutrisphere N, Fertilizer Manager from Verdesian Life Sciences.